This is Africa Talk Business, and I am Maya Mokoena. De Beers concedes to Botswana's demand in last-minute diamond deal. The world's largest diamond company, De Beers, has struck a last-minute deal with the government of Botswana to hand over a larger share of diamonds produced in the country, further loosening the company's grip on the global gem market. The agreement, which concluded just as the deadline for a deal expired, holds huge implications for Botswana's diamond-dependent economy and the global diamond supply chain. President Mokgweetsi Masisi of Botswana has persistently criticized the long-standing agreement, demanding greater benefits for his country, including a larger allocation of locally produced gems. Under the new terms, Botswana's state-owned diamond trader will now receive 30% of the output from Debswana, the joint venture between De Beers and Botswana that is responsible for approximately 2/3 of the company's annual production. Moreover, the government disclosed that there is a tentative agreement to potentially increase its share of the stones to as much as 50% in the future. African fossil fuel projects face up to funding challenges. The news in early May of this year that Standard Chartered Bank will not be financing the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, EACOP, a 1,443-kilometer insulated pipeline that will transport Ugandan crude from Kabale to Tanga Port in Tanzania, came as a setback not just to Kampala government, but to putative oil and gas project sponsors across the continent. The bank joined more than 24 other lenders that have turned down participation in the Total Energies-backed project, which is to be financed on a 60-40 debt-equity ratio, with the long component estimated at $2 to $3 billion. There remain a small clutch of banks that are still committed to the EACOP financing, including South Africa's Standard Bank, Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation, and Mitsubishi Financial Group, MUFG, both Japan and Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, ICBC. Africa joins the 5G race. The rollout of 5G mobile internet promises to be one of the most important technological advances of the 2020s. 5G networks are able to transfer very large volumes of data much more quickly than previous generations of mobile internet. This is good news for people who want to watch videos and play games on mobile devices. More importantly, 5G will be an enabler for autonomous vehicles and other futuristic technologies that depend on connected network. Globally, the 5G rollout is already well underway. Mobile networks operators began to offer 5G connections in the United States and South Korea in 2019. According to telecom equipment maker Ericsson, global 5G subscriptions are set to reach 1.5 billion by the end of 2023. Africa, however, is falling behind. ECOWAS to boost e-commerce in West Africa. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has adopted a strategy to boost e-commerce in the region. The ECOWAS Council of Ministers endorsed the strategy for the organization's 15 members nation on 7th July. It is intended to boost e-commerce in West Africa through specific measures responding to local needs, as identified by a recent e-trade readiness assessment produced by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD. The move comes against the background of rapid growth in the African e-commerce market, with the number of users forecast to rise by 40% and average revenue per user by 17% between 2023 and 2027.
My name is Suresh Remsemi. I come from a small town called Heidelberg. Don't know if anybody heard about it. I schooled up to standard 6 from grade 1 up to standard 6 in Heidelberg. There was a primary school in the town. What I enjoyed about it is that we took a walk to school every morning. No getting into the vehicles or whatever else, or getting into a bus. But that opportunity was broken when we got to standard 6 and we had to go to high school. The nearest high school was in Benoni. So we went to, from standard 7 was in Benoni at the high school. And that's where I completed my matric, obviously. It was good because I passed with the matriculation exemption. After that I did some, well actually, I did study further. I did a diploma in computer engineering and hardware support and whatever else. And then an opportunity landed up where I could be an apprentice, artisan. And I signed up for that. I studied to be a boilermaker. They threw us actually in the field for about 3 years with the company providing all the apprenticeship and whatever else needed. That went well. I'm a qualified boilermaker now. What I realized is I like to get hands-on into any job or whatever else. I think that stems from my father's, when we were upbringing, when my father around as well. For example, he had like all small machinery and all the tools that you needed to do anything else. So with regard to our small toys that we used to play around with, and our vehicles and cars and whatever else, there came a stage where if something broke, you'd fix it yourself because you knew where the toolbox was in the house. Your dad's tools were, you'd go and take out the tools and fix it yourself. So from a young age, we've been in, well, sorry, I didn't mention it there. There's 3 other brothers involved here as well. So we all we're all in the same age bracket. So a year, 2 years, 3 years apart. So we had buddies to hang around with, fix up things, to realize what tool this was, how it works and whatever else. Actually, my dad is only into refrigeration, and look, like I say, he taught us from young about tools and hardware and whatever else. One occasion was where we actually helped him. It took us a few years, but our kitchen in Heidelberg we built ourselves. Look, at that time my youngest brother wasn't involved because he was a bit too young. But the 3 elder brothers, we helped my dad and we finished our kitchen. So we built that from scratch. So when it comes to carpentry, I'm actually quite capable in that regard. And then coming back much later in life, I've only decided now that I should join my dad with his refrigeration business. So I'm actually I've been in this business for 5 years now. Decided to start my own company, started doing what Dad is doing. In the beginning, I took over my dad's customers, so that wasn't a bad option because there was still a steady line of work coming in. However, as I went along, and because of the work I kind of like put forward, and what can I say, or the warranty or the workmanship I provide, I suppose I'm still in business today because of that. I would say firstly that you should obviously get some tertiary backing, you know. I mean, you can't go and dismantle a plug or a socket on a wall and you don't know what's happening there. You're gonna shock the life out of you. So go and get some tertiary knowledge, what you want to do. And then obviously, if you feel that you need to be with somebody to get a little bit more experience, go ahead as well. Approach the person you obviously thinking of being someone like, and take it from there. I want people whenever their appliance, their fridge, their washing machine, their tumble dryer breaks, they say, who are you gonna call? They should know who you call, because you call Suresh, you call Torem Projects. I want to be at a stage where I have my fleet of company vehicles, all with my service technicians in there. I would want my my team to grow much bigger. Just there, I just want to get out there more often and get much bigger. That's my ultimate achievement. So there's actually the market is actually quite flooded with guys doing repairs and stuff. I would actually like to team up with like a big corporate, like, look, all these insurance guys, you know. Obviously, once I'm vetted through them, it's much easier just getting more opportunities from them. Look, I know there's a lot of paperwork you need to get sorted out. You need all your company registration details and whatever else. Yeah, it's just mainly paperwork that you need to get into order. I think also you need to have a liability insurance, because you can't be going out and fixing somebody's appliance or fridges or whatever else, and if something goes wrong, you're going to be liable. So you need to have that covered as well. So for the moment, I'm just operational on my email address, my cell phone, and obviously I'm busy with some flyers and stuff like that to get out so people know me and I get out there more often and bigger, you know. I would say just stick to the game, and look at the bigger picture.
Welcome everyone, welcome back to another lovely edition of Africa Talks Business, where we get to sit down and break down some of our business leaders, our opinion leaders, and guys who are basically making big waves in the space of business.
I never completed a degree in finance. I always dropped out.
Sure.
But anyway,
Always,
so
what?
Dropped out
Okay.
of finance.
I see.
Yeah. So
Why?
we've got so much support from household and individual customers. So I think for us, then, you know, it almost showed us how much value we bring in the township business. So I'm not doing it so that I can afford an Ultramel, but I'm doing it so that I can afford proper stuff.
But a nice car is Ultramel almost.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ultramel.
This week we are speaking to William, a guy who's basically going to give us insight into how he is changing the landscape.